Right, tied to the product life cycle and very important, so this is the use of the product life cycle too, identifying how cash flow might depend on the product life cycle. Cash flow is very important to a business, and cash flow is largely dependent on where a product is at the stage of its life cycle. Let's have a look. You'll see a new segment of the product life cycle creeping in here on the left hand side. Before introduction, we now have a development stage of the product life cycle. So we're talking research and development here before the product hits the market, before the product's introduced onto the market. So a product life cycle begins with the introduction, and that's sales. And if we have a look at cash flow here, straight away, as soon as we start the development process, this product is starting to consume cash. Right, in the research and development stage, cash flow is negative, costs are high, and obviously nothing has been produced nor sold. Cash flow is negative. We're hemorrhaging cash. In the introduction and growth phases, we'll look at both of these together. The development costs may have ended, but remember, introduction and growth, heavy promotional expenses are likely to be incurred. Here is where we are promoting our product the most intensely. Unused factory space, which has been geared up for peak sales. Unused factory space will be adding to costs. And also, if the business has employed credit sales are credit, right? You don't get paid straight away, you get paid further down the track. So if credit sales are being employed, there's going to be a further gap, a further time before your cash flows start to become positive. And now in the maturity phase, we've got the most positive cash flows. Sales are high and promotional costs may be limited. Spare factory capacity is low. So in the maturity, strongest cash flows, low promotional costs, everything's humming, factory is full, warehouses chock-a-block. And then in the decline phase, you'd think cash flows in the decline phase would be probably at their weakest, but the reason that they are still as strong as ever is because there are no real expenses associated with the product anymore. We're not promoting it, we're not developing more. As we know the product's coming into the decline, it's going to be withdrawn from the market, production ceased, all those costs of production stop. But anything we sell now is just positive cash flow. Right, here's a key point. Firms will benefit from a balanced portfolio of products at different stages of the product life cycle. So what does that mean? It means you don't want to follow one product through from research and development right through to the decline. Think, hold it, right, panic, we need a new product now. So they need a balanced portfolio of product at different stages of product life cycles. So when you've got some products in the maturity, you want to be using the cash generated from those to start your development of new products that move through the cycle again. So we say that cash from those entering the maturity cycle phase of the product life cycle can be used to provide investment funds for developing eventual replacement products. Right, product differentiation, something we need to look at. The creation of real or perceived differences in the customer's minds. And branding is a classic example there. Adidas, Nike, instantly recognizable brands. Probably identical trainers. Put a logo, identify it with a particular company, and there may well be just a perceived difference in the customer's mind. Right, with product differentiation, we get price advantages. If we can positively differentiate our product from our competitors' products, then we can charge a higher price, a premium price. Product differentiation helps with consumer recognition. They walk into a store, they're surfing the internet, competitors' products around them. We've got something that I can identify with, something that makes it different from the rest. They can hone in, they can look at, they can perceive that this is the product that they want. So consumer recognition and loyalty will increase with product differentiation. There's increased chance of the customer recognizing the item and therefore making a purchase and us selling an item. And importantly as well, and quite often overlooked, the distribution advantages. If we've got a successful product, it's different from our competitors, perhaps based around branding, we have distribution advantages. Retail space is limited. Retail outlets will only stock a certain number of goods, and the more successful your brand, the more successful your product differentiation is, the more likely you are to get your product into the retail outlets, and not only that, but to get them into a premium place within the retail outlets. So how do we do it? Methods of product differentiation. Branding would be the important one here. Now we'll go into branding in quite a bit of depth later, but developing a successful brand is one of the key methods of making your product positively different from competitors. Color and size, yeah. Quality. Now, the quality is important for two things. If your quality is top notch, then that can be something that will positively differentiate you. And if your quality is not that good, quality is low, as if it's matched with the low price, that might be fine. Design is all important. After sales service, packaging, all part of product. The purchase terms, are we offering credit? Are we not? Let's have a look. One shoe, $120. Similar shoe, black and high. Much more of a premium price can be charged. The design, the quality, and the branding is apparently outstanding according to my wife, with the shoe on the right. And because that product is different, positively different in those ways, branding, Jimmy Choo, quality, top notch, design, everything's gone into design, looks lovely, the premium price can be charged. Okay, firms, organizations, companies are likely to have more than one product. So as soon as they have more than one product, they've got a product portfolio. How can we analyze that product portfolio? Right. So we'll just define it. Start with product portfolio, the range of products owned by the business. SBU, strategic business unit, businesses or divisions owned by the firm. Different businesses can be analysed as a portfolio as well. So for example, restaurant brands, they've got several different strategic business units. PepsiCo, KFC, Pizza Hut. And product portfolio analysis, allows a business to decide which product should receive more or less investment. They can look at the products, they can have a look at their business units, which should receive more or less investment. So for example, products that do not have a high market share may be withdrawn or remarketed. And the analysis also allows businesses to develop growth strategies. Now remember growth strategies from Unit 1.7. Growth strategies by adding new products to an existing or new range. Now the Boston Matrix, the BCG, Boston Consulting Group Matrix, is the classic example of a tool used for product portfolio analysis. It's the only one you need to know for the IB Business and Management course, but you do need to know it. Now it's a model of, here's a definition, a model of product portfolio analysis, a marketing planning tool which help managers to plan for a balanced product portfolio. Here we are. Market share running along one axis, market growth running along the other. We divide the market share into high and low areas. So high market share, low market share. Market share is measured by the most dominant firm in the market. Market growth, low market growth or a mature market, and high market growth or a growing market. Now we divide these up into quadrants. So we've got low market growth with high market share, low market growth with low market share, high market growth with high market share, high market growth with low market share. Each of these quadrants has got a different term associated with them. Down on the bottom right left hand corner we've got the cash cow. Mature market, the market is at its peak. We had a look at this in the product life cycle. This is where cash flows are the strongest, and cash cows have a high market share in a mature, fully grown market. If we have a look next door, we've got in the same market, that same mature market, we have got a product with a low market share. A product with a low market share in a market that's not growing anymore, we call a dog. In high growing markets, now these markets are small, they may be small, but there's still a lot of growth, still a lot of customers yet to come in and participate in the market. So the classic example at the moment would be smartphones. Now there are a lot of smartphones being sold in the market, and the anticipated growth in this market is projected to still be huge. So the market's big at the moment, but still growing rapidly, still got a lot of growth left. Now, if you've got a high market share in a high growing market, you're a star. If you've got a low market share in a high growing market, then we term you a problem child, and also known as question marks. Okay, so stars and problem children.